this new video in Autistic Multiple Life channel. This channel was created to erase stigma toward dissociative identity disorder, OSDD1, autism and other neurodiversities, and to erase stigma that exists towards intersectionality. And this channel is about neurodiversity and intersectionality. And my name is Lilian. I am part of the multiple system that live in this body. I am a girl, and now I just use this opportunity to speak openly in front of the camera. Before this body came to transition, because most guys in this body want to have a male body. I have accepted, but I just want to make more video when I look like me. And in this video I want to speak more about malfunctioning daydreaming. From the early years, Ayman, the main force of the system, Ayman lived in two worlds. First world was the world of the imagination, and second world was real world. And sometimes the world of Ayman's imagination, it was Bayuka world. It's like parallel reality, science fiction world that Ayman created when Ayman was a really little kid. And after that it was world based on different books and films and cartoons. And after that it was world of Ayman, recent fictional book that Ayman still writing. So Ayman was living in these two worlds, and sometimes the world of Ayman dream was more real for them than the real world. It doesn't just mean that Ayman just ran away from real world. It means that it was protective mechanism of our psychic, because when Ayman faced abuse in their family, in school or in kindergarten, this imaginary world that just help Ayman to stay safe and be themselves. And now Liza, our little, is near me, and we're in cocoon, and maybe my voice is more like Liza's voice. And I don't know it's me or it's Liza speaking now. We're speaking together. Because I recently switched to Liza. And switched again. So this world just help, this imaginary worlds just help Ayman to stay safe and stay themselves. And sometimes when Ayman, for example, try to remind some events, Ayman couldn't remind the date, the year, but Ayman remind her special interests and her daydreaming time in this time. There is stereotypes that autistic people could live in daydreaming world, that autistic people couldn't be daydreaming. It's just bullshit story, but it's really bullshit, because we knew many autistic guys who live in daydream world, and there is so many articles, so many stories about autistic guys who or have malfunctional daydreaming or just like to daydream. It is just some kind of old stereotype about autism. But even if you would look to autism diagnosis criteria, they're ableistic, but you couldn't find there any words about autistic couldn't daydream. Okay, it's just an old stereotype. Some autistic people really couldn't daydream or hate daydreaming. Others may like daydreaming and have malfunctioning daydreaming. Okay. And what it means to be system and have malfunctional daydreaming is tricky, like Mowgli, how Little used to say, it's really tricky. But the way Mowgli was choosing his name because of Mowgli from the book, and this Kipling book, Jungle Book, was one of Ayman's daydream term. Ayman don't use this word daydreaming in this time when Mowgli was bleeding because of transphobia. Ayman said constant play. Ayman was trying to speak about daydreaming with their parents, but their parents don't believe them, and no one just don't understand what Ayman was talking about. And Ayman was living in some kind of typical Soviet Union family when daydreaming or dreaming, even fantasy or sci-fi was deeply stigmatized. And yeah, it was difficult, really, really difficult. And now our Lisa triggered by it. Okay, but and what it means to be system and live in daydream involved. Sometimes when someone split it, like for example Mowgli split it, he could stay have this daydream world that Ayman have before splitting. So Ayman changed dozens and dozens of these daydream terms since Mowgli was split when Ayman was near 4 years old. Mowgli have his own daydreaming roles, his own daydreaming terms. Mowgli terms, it's some of them old, and Mowgli share each with Ayman. For example, Ayman was interested in dinosaurs when Ayman was little, and Mowgli is still interested in dinosaurs. But some of this term is new. For example, recently we were reading about Uyghurs in China and Uyghur genocide. And in Mowgli, daydream involves Mowgli like to pretend like when he helped Uyghurs to escape from China. And several our alters are daydreaming alters. They like to daydream, and it's reflected in our inner world, because many stuff in our inner world have this terms from our old daydreaming stuff, have places from our old daydreaming terms. And sometimes daydreaming would be just like bridge between alters. For example, Lisa, one of our littles, she was hiding for many years. I knew that she is near us because I am primary protector. I knew that Lisa exists because I am primary protector, but Ayman don't know about Lisa. And when Mowgli told Ayman that he had a twin sister, Ayman would started to see and understand Lisa, because Lisa decided to write a fictional book about orphan girl who have a dissociative identity disorder, a little orphan girl, and Ayman, it's helped Ayman to see her, to hear her, to understand her, to become her friend. So the dreaming really helps with communication in our system. Also, it's help us to calm down, to feel better after some triggers. For example, after so-called jihad case, when Ayman was accused in terrorism, because Ayman used to read many academical stuff about jihadi and about Muslim, and Ayman write about Islamic feminism. Of course, feminism is not jihadi term, but in the Russian government it's deeply Islamophobic, and Ayman was accused in terrorism, and all this daydreaming stuff, and writing their books, and writing their real emotions in their books. It's really helped Ayman to process in these events, to process in these emotions, to let them go, to feel them. And many years when Ayman don't know that they're part of the multiple system and live in an abusive family, daydream involved was the only thing that helped them survive. And I really could say it like a primary protector of this system, because I knew it. I was working to protect Ayman, and I knew that daydreaming really helps Ayman. Now I started switching again. I hope I wouldn't fully switch, because it would be a little inconvenient for me now. I want to stay in the body. So daydreaming, first of all, it's help us to survive. It's help us to calm down, Especially it helps us just to relax when we are tired. It helps us to think because sometimes we need this time for daydreaming. It's help in our communication, and sometimes it's inflate our inner world and help us better understand each other. It's intersected with autism because daydreaming topics most of the time have something to do with your special interests, and it's intersected with system life because several our alters have daydreaming kind of thinking. Daydreaming is kind of type of derealization because it has something common when you go to daydreaming world or when you go to the inner world, and when you are feel that you're in not your body, you just losing time, and when you are daydreaming it has something in common. And I knew it from Ayman's experience and our Little's experience, and at the same time, for example, our wife Lina, she don't have this dissociation protective mechanism. I think it's not working with her at all. It's a very rare case, and at the same time, she couldn't and don't like go in daydreaming. And I think it's kind of some correlation between daydreaming and between derealization and between dissociation, and daydreaming really could be part of dissociation. We don't have real studies about it. It's one of the topics that society needs to learn more. But what I want to say that we need to stop stigma. We need to stop stigma toward daydreaming because this stigma just make Ayman's life awful. This was one of the stuff that make Ayman's life awful when Ayman was a kid. And so many times Ayman was thinking that there's something wrong with them because they like to daydream. Not just like to daydream, they couldn't imagine their life and that thinking without daydreaming. Ayman tried to stop daydreaming, and after that have strong obsessive compulsive disorder or was exhausted and couldn't just relax and couldn't manage with everyday life. So daydreaming is just protective mechanism. It's good because it helps us to survive. Of course, sometimes we need to remember that we need to do something important and not just stay in our dreams. We could have some problems with daydreaming, like we could have problems with any protective mechanism or with any type of thinking, but it doesn't mean that daydreaming is something wrong. And now Mowgli near me, and Mowgli like to daydream. And Mowgli maybe would speak more theatralic that I'm speaking, and maybe I'm almost switched to Mowgli or to Liza and don't know it, don't notice it. If so, sorry, just accept it because it's happened when you're multiple. So please, just stop stigma toward daydreaming. Don't call daydreaming malfunctioning. Call it just daydreaming stuff or type of thinking. Daydreaming type of neurological differences, but not malfunctional daydreaming, because daydreaming is functional. Every protector mechanism is functional. It helps us to survive. It helps us to stay ourselves. It helps us to communicate with our inner world and outside world. And we wouldn't be ourselves without daydreaming. It doesn't matter if you are autistic or not, if you are multiple or not. But if you have daydreaming, please, just don't listen to people who say that it's something wrong with you because you have this kind of thinking. Assalamu alaikum, it's Abu Hamza al-Muhajir, and I think Liza with me in Kakon. This is why we have this frozen doll here, Elsa. Yeah, and when Lil and Liza made this video about malfunction and daydreaming, they forget about one important stuff, maybe because Lilian don't have this malfunction and daydreaming kind of thinking. And so I just want to say about it a little bit because I have it and Liza is daydreaming girl too. So Liza a little nervous. So when people speaking about dissociative identity disorder and daydreaming, sometimes they say like, how you could know that you're not daydreaming, that it is real, that your inner world or your alters really exist. And I think it just, you could feel it. I mean, it just completely another kind of feeling. When you speaking with your alters or see something in the inner world, it just like you couldn't control it fully. You couldn't really. You couldn't feel like you make it up. Yeah, when you're daydreaming, you could feel something like real, but it's you understand that you're making it up. It's just like it's real, like when you read a book or watch some kind of movie, but you continue to realize that it's just your imagination. But it's completely another feeling. It's like more like understanding your emotion when you understanding your alter. And you couldn't control your alter thoughts, you couldn't control your alter what your alter said to you. And I just want to say that if you want to separate daydreaming and understanding of your alter, just trust your feeling. And many people, especially at first, ask, what if I just make it up? What if I don't have OSDD1B or dissociative identity disorder? What is just my daydreaming? I think if you read something about dissociation and it helps you, even if it's just a daydreaming, even if you make it up, but if it helps you, it's okay. You just could continue to read, and one way or another, sooner or later, you understand if you really have dissociation or not. And I don't think that it could harm anyone if you just try to trust what you feel and use advices that really help you. But yeah, maybe you need some time to separate this stuff. We don't need this time because we study our daydreaming kind of thinking with psychotherapists. We spend many time to study themselves. But maybe for someone you need this time. So, and I think that if someone faking dissociative identity disorder, this person understands that they're faking. But if you have some doubt, maybe you make it up. Just wait, and you will figure it out. Thank you very much for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to make it more visible. Don't forget to share it and like it if you like it, because we want to make it more popular. See you next time. Bye.